Oh. Oh, hey. I just had this really awesome dream. I just had this dream that I was actually seeing my GP60M locomotive on the tracks for real. Or was it a dream? Let's talk about it. Coming up next on the War Bonds channel. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video podcast here on the War Bonds channel. If you don't know me and you're unfamiliar with this channel, my name is Eric. I'm a locomotive engineer for a U.S. Class 1 railroad by profession, an avid model railroader, and just a lifelong rail enthusiast. Well, guess what guys? For those of you who are regulars to viewing this channel, I did a thing. What was that thing? Well, you know what? I know some people think I talk a lot, which I do. But you know what? It's my channel. I can do that. However, to keep you from having too much suspense, let's just let the video speak for itself. Check it out.
What we'll do here with yours, because you don't have a lot of right here, so
Sure.
we're going to move this up to about here, and then we'll put the plate on, and then that'll just roll up as much as you can.
Okay.
I think that's good.
All right.
How are you doing?
Hey, man.
How are you?
Good enough. So this pinches down in there, so go back and forth.
Okay. Now the other thing
Things
that
should just roll right there.
okay. Now the other problem I had a friend of mine weld stops on each end. So yeah.
You got to lift them up and over.
Yeah.
Is this you got 4 axles?
Four.
4 axles, okay. Pretty good size locomotive.
Good on this end, lined up your gauge. Yep.
So you're hoping to have this all done by next year?
All right.
She's on there.
All right. Well, I am actually hoping that I have this thing done, at least done enough by the time the train show early next year
Oh,
starts.
for February?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good goal.
Yeah.
To go for. Good winter project.
Yeah, exactly.
It still wants everything else. That key is, it's the one currently sitting on a Wendy's.
Looks like you got a new little addition here.
Well, I've had the baggage car forever.
Oh, okay. It should be like a half inch
Planes fit propane tanks in there, but I can get rid of that out of scale.
Okay.
So I'm trying to fulfill the little guy.
There's that beast with the other brother.
Yeah.
You got paint?
That's just primer.
Ideally, I'll have two. Let's get stuff on.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's right, because, yeah, well, it's been to your house.
So you're just running off these two little guys.
Oh, look at that smile on his face.
That's nice.
Thank you.
It's like a dispenser.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I figured it's done enough. Enough work's been done to it that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring it out.
I don't know if I've ever seen.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, those are. I just actually got those put on earlier this morning. But that's like there's a workout. Yeah. Well, I am so very excited to actually be here at the Chippewa Northwestern Railroad, which is the railroad that this engine was built to run on. So here we are, the first time on the rails here, and we're gonna shove it around maybe over to the turntable and just kind of check things out and see how it looks. And hopefully, maybe even though it's not operational right now, we'll actually be able to either get it pulled or shoved around the layout just to check the balance and see how the coupler heights and everything work mechanically before we start going any further.
Usually fills the isoler out with it because it's in front of it. It needs to get it out of the way. So a lot of times it'll just like stand on one of the blades. Well,
And this is all 300 pounds of locomotive here.
sometimes you was going to consider that.
All the batteries and all the weights have been inserted into the inside of the locomotive.
Yeah, we usually have like 10 with
All right, so we're going to test this thing out now. There are no electronics in it right now, but we're going to shove it onto the turntable here. We're going to spin it, and then we're going to actually have another locomotive tie onto it, and we're just going to shove it around at least once or twice. Certainly want to see how it balances out and just how trackworthy it is. So I'm going to move it up here onto the turntable. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. All right. And our good friend Nathan, who's also one of my many loyal subscribers, is going to do the honors of turning it for us. All right. Okay. Easy. That'll do.
Yeah, these. You got. David's couplers are reliable, so you can just close that open. Those couplers are not going to work. This isn't going to work. These couplers are too big,
Oh.
so this can't even couple. Look at that. There she goes.
Just building it. Okay.
Do I look grumpy?
It doesn't happen all easy. Pull forward. The wheels on it. Well, yeah. And
Right.
The idea is to make sure it tracks while going around.
So those are to keep the traction motors hanging suspended. Otherwise, they'll be dropping on the ground.
I figured.
Yeah.
You know if you need a hand. Your trucks are not gonna land on nicely, I don't think.
Let's see.
Is your track set up so the rails in the middle are to gauge, or is it riding on the outside?
Yeah, no, it's to
right.
gauge in the middle.
A little more.
Okay.
That's all right.
There we go. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you couldn't tell and hear the laughter in my voice, I was just giddy. I was just like a little boy in a candy store. Just to see this thing that started out as just an idea in my head, like, what if, to actually see it on the rails, even though the electronics are yet to be installed in it, and really there's a lot more that has yet to be done. It's been, what, 4 or 5 days since the footage that you just saw was taken, at least as of this moment. And I'm still not going to put the electronics in it just yet, because I realize that I'm actually at the point where I just need to do a little bit more body work, and probably within the next month, we could be seeing actual paint on this thing. I wasn't sure exactly how long it would take me to do it, but I think realistically we can do it. I've actually talked to my paint guy, LJ, and he's on board. But for all the investment that I have in this thing so far, that's actually a pretty good deal. And to have a professional paint it, and painting it with automotive grade type paint, it's a great thing. So I am definitely very, very excited. This thing is just coming along. I know you guys have followed with me, and it's just been kind of up and down, like, oh man, is this thing ever going to get done? But to have seen it on the rails, and it acted flawlessly. I mean, and let's face it, model trains derail, but it acted flawlessly. Everything was balanced out. The coupler heights were looking good, even though we had initially a problem with trying to couple up my engine to the Burlington Northern 96 that we did eventually use. We just had to make a little modification by putting a riding car in between the two, but it actually worked out. The engine didn't derail. The balance was good. The coupler height was good. Everything was great on it. So it was definitely quite the experience, and I'm very excited. But one of the things that I did is I got home, unloaded the locomotive back into my garage, and then it was kind of like, and then the wind flew out of my sail. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just, I needed a little bit of time away from it. However, I'm having to wait for a few more materials that I need, but I have actually made myself a big list. In fact, while I was at work, sitting still the other day on the locomotive, I actually thought, what do I need to do? What more do I need to do? I need to make a list of things that need to be done. So I made a big list of, different holes that I need to drill, and different detail parts that I need to add on. And in fact, one of the things that ended up happening was the morning before I went to the club, I was trying to take some screws, just at least maybe tack in, just the right amount of screws, maybe about 6 screws on the radiator grills, just to get them stuck on there, so that I can at least give you the feel of what this locomotive is supposed to look like and what I'm going for in the construction. However, the screws that I had were too big, and I didn't have enough of the original screws that came out of the original grills that were on there. And I'm thinking, great, I've got to be there in the next, or at least leave in the next half hour. What am I going to do? So I had some double-sided tape. So guess what? There's a lot of those parts that were double-sided taped onto the locomotive. All the grills and a couple other small parts. And I figure, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's go for the whole kit and caboodle. So we actually made it work, and it looked good. I mean, it really looked good enough that I even forgot that I had done that. So from a distance, you really couldn't tell. But one of the things that will be done is, of course, I'll be taking the double-sided tape off and finding the right screws that I need to get everything put on properly. So I'm going to have to take some of those parts back off anyway, because when we do go and paint the locomotive, my paint guy says that we need to use a better primer than just the stuff that I used, even though my thoughts and my intentions of using the Rust-Oleum primer was good, but it's like, oh, if we're going to do it right, we need a different primer. So some of that's going to have to be sanded off, but unfortunately, because I do have some 3D printed parts on there already, like case in point, the fans, I am going to have to just let some of that stay on there. Otherwise, either trying to use a soda blaster to get the primer off, or even a lacquer thinner could destroy some of those 3D printed parts. So we're just going to have to do the best we can to remove as much of it as we can, but it's looking great, you know, and everything is, I can't really say it's going on track because there's really no actual timeline for this, but as you may have heard me say in the video, I would like to have this done before the beginning of next year for the next big train show in the area. I would love to have it on display, if not actually using it as a locomotive to actually pull people around the display that we usually set up at this train show. So I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too, and I hope you continue to stay with me on this journey of getting this locomotive completed. If you enjoy this content, which I really hope you do, and you tell your friends about it so that more and more people come to be a part of the journey here, why don't you just hit that like button there and subscribe, because there's more where this came from, and I am so happy for the privilege and the blessing to be able to share this with you guys. So let's keep it going, and until next time, keep the wheels on the rails. We'll see you later.